for those that aren't really aware, here's what goes on. Let's say the day 1 of your period, and most women are usually on, 28 day, they say is real common. So when you're, hormones come down, the first day of your period is the day actually, we say of the cycle, is the day you first bleed. So when you actually menstruate, day 1, and that might go, up to day 3, 4, 5, or whatever. Some women a little bit longer. Some women have heavy flows, some have light flows. There's reasons for all that. That's what we study. That's what this work's all about. But what will happen on day 1 is it's hit the bottom, and it actually starts to go back up at that point. And this is estrogen. I wish I had 2 colors. Estrogen goes up. This is called the follicular phase. And why is that? Because the follicle in the ovaries is ripening an egg. And so your progesterone is just cranking and cranking and cranking. The purpose of estrogen is to ripen an egg in the follicle. And so in the follicular phase, when estrogen is the dominant hormone, that's why we call it that. Now, then you'll have somewhere in here in the mid-cycle is when you actually do ovulate. And then, of course, the follicle actually changes into what's called the corpus luteum, and we get what we call the luteal phase. I don't know if luteal, okay, Lu. So in the luteal phase, it goes back down because that's when progesterone kicks in. So we have progesterone is the dominant hormone in the second half, or the luteal phase. And here we have estrogen in the follicular phase. And we also have a mid-cycle when you ovulate. Now, the follicle ripens the egg, and it's cranking out the estrogen. What happens is it turns into the corpus luteum, and it really starts cranking out the progesterone. But progesterone isn't 0 to that point. It actually also kind of mimics and goes like this in a perfect world. Now, remember, so this would be your mid-cycle, and that's when you'll ovulate in there. Women usually know when they're ovulating. They do get physical signs and other signs. So there is a test, by the way, that BioHealth offers. There's the 207 and the 208. When you guys are dealing with and you can run these are all within your certification because they're saliva. And what they'll do on the 2.7 and 2.8, it's just different numbers. But you actually get a test result here, 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 here. You could do either 11, which that's 11 different readings, or you can do the full-blown 17 readings. And it's estrogen and progesterone. So what you find is you can actually map this out. So let's just look at the results of a 207 and 208. It would look something like, here's the estrogen. So what you get is that graph. Those are the readings, and then you just connect the dots. It's actually done for you, and you see that. Look, might be one up there even like that. Look, that's not a normal cycle. You'll see stuff like this, and they're very symptomatic. This is stress. This is like on different given days, they've got some extra stuff going on, and it's ripping off, and these numbers will fluctuate on over a 2 to 3 day period. So you're going to see things that turn out like that. So if you're dealing with the younger people and they're telling you they've got, oh, my periods are all messed up, this would be a great test to run, this 208. And you'll find that looking like that. And then right behind it, and they'll do it in a different color, like blue or something, you'll see the progesterone kind of maybe doing the same thing. This is perfect. And what is progesterone, by the way? Well, it's progestation or pro-pregnancy. So the follicle ripens an egg, releases the egg, the corpus luteum starts cranking out the progesterone. It's seeing if it's going to, get fertilized, and it's making you pro-pregnancy. It's keeping it, hanging out so that it can lodge in the endometrium and eventually become a little baby. So now, when it doesn't, it goes, okay, well, we're not getting pregnant, so it just goes down, down, down. And when progesterone hits the bottom, that's when you bleed. Okay, so when progesterone hits the bottom, you'll bleed for that reason, or you'll bleed when your estrogen goes too high. Too high of estrogen, spotting. Okay, you might get some mid-cycle spotting or something if you're taking too much estrogen. So this is, like we said, a 28-day cycle, right? 1 to 28. Now you'll find that this is going on, and women in the later stages are saying, well, my periods used to be 28, but now they're 23 or 22. And the reason is the progesterone is coming down, and it doesn't matter what else is going on. They're going to have their period here at day 22 instead. So if you know, that's really what's going on. So what we find, I want to make sure I say everything I want to say here. Luteal phase, it's called a luteal phase deficit. So luteal phase deficit, that's a good term. Luteal phase deficit in progesterone. That's why they're having their periods early. And luteal phase deficit in progesterone could also be symptomatic. You can get all the different, we call it emotional fragility. It's actually a legitimate term, emotional fragility, and other things too.